Hi, friends. Welcome to the channel. My name is Kayla G. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned with what I got going on. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than you know. So let's get the elephant out the room. Where have I been? It has been quite some time since I posted on the channel. I think the last time I posted was either end of January, early February. I can't remember, but I know it was me posting my vision board for the year. And I have been doing a whole bunch of stuff since the last time that I posted. So I wanted to hop on here and just reintroduce myself to anybody who might be new or to reacquaint myself to anybody who's been here and who's subscribed. There's been a lot going on in my life since I last posted, and I just want to provide you an update and share a little bit about what's sparking some of the journeys that I'm on and what I got going on ahead. So stay tuned and let's get into it. So, where have I been? Life has just been lifing in some challenging ways, but also some of the best ways possible. So I've just been sort of taking the time to let all that sink in, let myself process different things and figure out where I want to go and what I'm taking from each challenge or each lesson that I'm learning. So, first, I'll start off with some family stuff. So, back in November, my dad had to have a surgery that we knew he needed. We also thought we had more time for it. We thought we were going to be able to wait a little bit, but that wasn't the case. So dad had to have surgery, which then had a complication and he had to have another emergency surgery. And he was in the hospital for 2 months. And myself, my sister, my stepmom, we were just all kind of there. Um, Supporting him and being his advocate medically because he couldn't do a lot of things for himself in terms of his everyday life, his feeding of himself, washing himself, all that type of stuff. So we were just there for support. And even though was okay, he was definitely okay. It wasn't life threatening. It takes an emotional toll on you when you have to become the caretaker of your parent. And I will say I did not mind one bit taking care of my dad. He's a very easygoing dad. He wasn't very difficult. He wasn't demanding, but it gets hard to see your parent like that because usually they're the ones taking care of you. And now the roles were a little bit reversed where we were taking care of him. So it was just a little bit of an adjustment and something I had to process emotionally for myself. So dad came home in January and we had to adjust a little bit to what his life was looking like as he was recovering. He's all good now. He's doing great. But that period from January until now was an adjustment for all of us. For him the most, obviously, because it was him who was affected the most physically, but also my stepmom because now she had to be his caretaker full time. My sister and I because we were pitching in a capacity that we weren't before. So it was an experience. It triggered a lot of emotions, but we made it through together. And I know that that happened a little bit before I posted my vision board video, but the effects of it are still I'm still dealing with them every day. And it's affected just how I've, gone through life and things like that. Another thing that has been going on or that happened before the vision board video, but the effects are still happening to me now, or I'm just having some realizations about things now because of it. It was my trip to Italy. So, my best friend and I took a trip to Italy. We spent 10 days there visiting Venice, Florence, and Rome throughout the 10 days. And this was probably the biggest trip I had ever been on that I had ever paid for myself. So, uh, live it up and learn a lot. And it was the best experience ever. This is a trip that my friend and I have been wanting to do since we were little girls, and we finally made it happen. So, took some time to just reflect a little bit about that trip, but preparation for that trip was a lot. Coming home was definitely a culture shock after being gone for 10 days. So, I just wanted to, process some of those things that I had learned, some of the emotions that I felt throughout that trip. And like I said, I've been processing still, even though I went in December. There's things that I'm realizing about myself that I can attribute to that trip. Another thing that's been happening new for me is that I took on a second job. I am working on my financial health, and there are some things that I want to get done in the next decade. So I just turned 32. So there's things I want to get done before I hit 40. So I decided, you know what, if I have to take on a second job to get them done, I will. That being paying off a really big student loan. So I didn't take on like a huge demanding job. I work at a restaurant and it's been fun. I've learned a lot about myself in this time and it's been life changing. It has taken up more time from me, obviously, because now I'm not just working the full time gig. I'm going into work afterwards, but it's been a lot of fun. It's challenging. The restaurant industry is more challenging than I thought it was, but it's definitely something that I think all people should do. There's a lot of lessons in working in service, in food service, and customer service. So that's something else new that has been happening. Another thing that's been going on, just overall, a broad thing, is just me learning about myself. I realized that I thought I knew who I was, but just some of these changes that I've been going through with dad and his surgery, going to Italy, starting a new job that's different from anything I've ever done before. I realized I don't know who I am as much as I thought I did. And I've just been doing some self exploration. So these new experiences definitely triggered the self exploration. One of the biggest things that has contributed to me really realizing that I didn't know who I was and me also now wanting to is me losing my mom. So this August 10th, 2026 will make 5 years that I've been without her. She passed away on that date and it's been very challenging. My mom and I were very close and by no means am I wanting to make this page about grief and life after grief, but more about the self exploration that it has triggered and that it's inspired within me. My mom was my everything. We did a lot of things together. And now that I don't have her, I realized that a lot of my identity was intertwined with hers. And we're very similar, absolutely. But I need to find out who Kayla is completely without mom. So that's sort of what's triggered this. That's what really where the inspiration for this channel has come from is me becoming, me learning things about myself, what I like, what I don't like, trying new activities. That's really what I want this channel to be about. And I think although her passing was very traumatic for me, this is something good that will come out of it. Another thing that my mom's passing has triggered within me is just it's affected the way I see time. It's affected the way I prioritize things. It's affected the way I, show up for people. And it's requiring me or it has caused me to start to ask some deeper questions just about who I am and what life is. And with that, I just turned 32 this past week. So my birthday is July 8th. And I think it's like July, 12th, the day that I'm recording this. So I just turned 32. And just looking back and reflecting this past week, I realized that I've been really good at planning my life out. I've been really good at going week by week, doing each job, doing the tasks of my job, keeping the house clean, just doing the things I have to do that I haven't really had a lot of time or used a lot of time to live my life. I've just sort of been maintaining living and surviving living, but I actually haven't really lived anything. Yes, I have great experiences. I have great memories. I've traveled, I've done things, but I haven't really lived a full life of what I want, what I'm looking for, where I feel most fulfilled. And that's really where I want to take this channel is to sit down and talk about some of the things that I've learned as I'm becoming more fulfilled, as I'm becoming an individual, as I'm learning about myself, about Kayla. And I want to, try out new experiences, read some books and talk about them, grow in my faith. That's been a really big one that's been like gnawing at my heart the past couple of months, really, is just my faith and finding out what my relationship with God is outside of my mom and what we've done together. So growing my faith, becoming healthier physically, mentally, things I've learned in therapy. Like, I'm realizing there's so many facets to me that I haven't even explored and I want to. So, over the next couple of videos, next months and stuff, that's what I really want to talk about. Is just becoming. And obviously, I know that this is my journey. These are lessons that I've learned, but I know that just as I'm feeling a little bit lost in who I am, a little bit not myself, or I don't even know what myself feels like, I know that someone else is probably experiencing that and they want to, start the journey of finding themselves, but it feels daunting sometimes to do it by yourself, especially when your friends and your family members seem to have it together. They seem to know who they are, and you're the lone wolf who is a little uncertain and a little lost. So I know that what I have to say, I think can be valuable and I want to share it. I want to build a community. I want to release some of the things that I have to say. I want to just use this as like a digital diary. And, I posted a why I'm starting YouTube video months ago. I think it was like back October, November before my dad's surgery. And a lot of that stands true. I have been a person who cares so much about what people think, that I will not do things that I want to do because of that. And some of that still is true. It's still true. Some of that is it's harder to get over. I will say, as much as I say I'm getting over it, I'm working at it. But by being consistent in this channel, talking about things I want to talk about, I know that I will eventually be able to do that. Social media is definitely it can be scary because, you want what you release to be meaningful. You want people to find value in it. But there's critics. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. And the perfectionist in me wants to wait until it's all perfect. But my life is not ever going to be perfect. And I'm realizing that the Kayla that I want to be isn't just going to show up. She's not just going to appear out of the blue. I have to work on her. I have to create her. I have to establish her. I have to, put time and effort into her. And doing this channel is part of that because it's something that's been gnawing at my heart, pulling at my heartstrings for a very long time. And I just want to continue on it. I want it to be consistent. I want to find the community, build the community, share my thoughts, and just really, become Kayla. So I am starting a journey today. Today on July 12th, I'm doing it. I am doing it. I have so many things I want to say, so much I want to talk about, and I'm ready. I've named this channel Kayla Unfiltered. It took a long time for me to figure out what I wanted this to be, but I've decided on that name because I am becoming myself. Like, I am becoming Kayla and I want to live as me in an unfiltered way, meaning I don't want to hide the flaws. I don't want to try to shape people's thoughts of me in one way. I don't want to be anyone else. I want to release my own thoughts, even if they aren't popular or even if they are. I just want to be unapologetically me. So Kayla Unfiltered is coming to you, and I'm just truly excited. And again, I got lots of things I want to talk about. Like I said, growing in my faith, my faith in Jesus, and doing my Bible study, and what I'm learning about myself there. I've been dibbling dabbling back into my love of reading, what I'm learning in the books I'm reading. Just book reviews. It doesn't even have to be anything deep, right? It can just be a book review. We could talk about it. Little book club action on the Kayla Unfiltered. Becoming physically healthier. Let's try out Pilates. What did I learn in Pilates? How did that test my strength and my abilities in Pilates or with dance fitness? Whatever I'm doing, I do just want to document it. I'm realizing that I don't know if I like vlogging. I'm more of a sit down and chit chat, tell you a story type of girl. But we'll see what the channel will bring in terms of how I format the content, but I'm starting the content. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in. There's more to come. I hope you come along with me on this journey. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I thank you so much. Talk to you soon.